Hello, welcome to Prenatal Yoga. My name's Bridget from Lucky Elephant Yoga and Wellness, and I'm going to be guiding you through a general prenatal class that fits for just about any time of your pregnancy. Remember that every moment of your pregnancy is different. Every part of the journey, you'll see different changes in your body. You'll see energetic changes, appetite changes. As the baby changes, you change as well. And then also remembering that subsequent pregnancies are different than each other as well. So if this isn't your first pregnancy, then you might be experiencing something different than you experienced the first time. And that's because your body is always changing. And so as we go through our journey of life, our bodies are different from one moment to the next. And so as we arrive into pregnancy throughout that journey, we arrive as we are in that present moment. And so, one of the key things to remember during your pregnancy is kindness and love. And that kindness and love has to be for yourself so that you understand when to take care. You understand when your body needs to have a little bit more time for rest, and when your body is available for that time to move and breathe. But staying connected to your own mind, your own breath, and your own body during your pregnancy will allow you to grow and change with this wonderful time of your life. And remember to feel all of the feelings, all of the emotions that you feel, and breathe with them, breathe them out, and let them go so that you can be present for this journey and present for the journey that is to come. So, physically, wherever you are in your pregnancy, you might be noticing based on that. First trimester, very typically, again, not for everybody, but very typically the body feels tired because it's new. This is new territory, right? Your body may not be looking pregnant necessarily, but your energy is feeling a little bit more down. Maybe your appetite isn't quite what it used to be. Then we move into our second trimester, and typically around the second trimester is when you start to get your energy back. The body gets into a rhythm of creating life, and you start to feel a little bit more like yourself. But maybe your physical body starts changing during that time, and your clothes aren't fitting the way that they used to. And so you're having to navigate then some of those physical changes within you still feeling very well energetically. Maybe this is the time when you get your appetite back. Remember, these are typically not, they're typical, but they're not for everybody. Everybody has a different experience along their pregnancy journey. And then that last trimester tends to be the time where your energy again might go down a little bit or a lot. Your physical changes kind of amp up, right? The body looks more pregnant, the baby's getting larger. You're going to see a lot more of those physical changes. And so along those journeys, our yoga practice changes as well. So we have to accommodate all of the energetic and physical components of pregnancy within this yoga practice. So there's times in your pregnancy where restorative practice is exactly what you should be doing or something more gentle. There are times in your pregnancy you might be able to get to the mat in a regular flow, just taking care of the parameters that don't feel appropriate to you. So today's class that I'm going to lead you to is just going to be a little bit general of a prenatal yoga class. So you listen to your body, take care when you need to take care, and don't do anything that doesn't feel right for you. All right, so let's start in just a nice seat. So before we get started, it's good to have two blocks, a blanket, and a cushion. Now, if you don't have two blocks, grab a couple of books. If you don't have a bolster, grab a couch cushion. That's a great thing. This will help you towards the end. And actually, you're going to grab more books than just a couple of books, but just enough that you can stack up and make about as high as two blocks. And then a blanket. You can take a throw blanket off the back of your couch. You can take some kind of small towel or blanket that you've got laying around the house, or even just another pillow to sit up on. But what I want is for you to start with your hips either in line or slightly above your knees so that we've got a nice ground to the seat and we can find the sits bones really rooting down into whatever you're sitting on. Crown of your head lifted. So place your hands right on your thighs, and I invite you to close your eyes or find a soft downward gaze. And for a moment, just notice how you're breathing. This is another thing that changes along the course of the pregnancy, the ability to take a deep breath. And that's typically because the diaphragm starts to get a little bit more restricted as the baby starts to get bigger. So we want to just notice the breath, not try to change it or judge it in any way. Just notice. Notice how you're breathing. And then I want you to place one hand on your heart and the other hand on your belly. And see if that breath awareness can come into the hand. So it's as if you were breathing into both hands. And then the exhale just starts to soften. And you might notice a little bit longer depth and length of the breath. But nothing that causes any strain or tension. Make sure that you're not holding the breath in any way. And just simply let your hands come back down to your thighs. Keep that nice attention to your breath and simply release your chin down to your chest. But keep the rest of the spine lengthened. Roll your right ear over to your right shoulder. And let's bring the left hand down beside the left hip with a weight through the left shoulder and some breath into the left side of the neck. And then release the chin down to the chest, placing that left hand on the left thigh. Roll the left ear over to the left shoulder and place the right hand down beside the right hip, breathing into that right side of the neck. And then again, releasing the chin to the chest, both hands onto the thighs. Let's slide the hands out to the knees. Take a big full breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to just rock back and round to the back of the seat. And then inhale, shifting forward. And I want you to just think about the movement of the pelvis here. The chest is going to go forward because of the movement of the pelvis. And then exhale, we're just going to round it back again. Good. Let's take two more like that. Inhale, shift forward. And exhale, shift back. Good. One more time. Inhale, forward. And exhale back. And keep your hands on your knees. Start circling the torso around. So again, we're just rolling around onto the pelvis, moving into the hips. Good, and then circle the opposite direction. Good, and now sit nice and tall, big full breath in. And as you exhale, just take the right hand back behind you and turn the chest. We're going to keep the left hand on the left knee. And I want you to still ground into that left hip. So we're just really isolating into the chest here. Good, feel those collarbones spread apart. Length all the way up through the crown of your head. Good, and then just slowly come back to center. Sweep your arms out and up. And let's clasp the hands overhead. Flip your palms up and feel a nice lift and length through the side waists. Good, bring those hands behind your head. Rest your head back into your hands. Spread your elbows and lift the chest up. And feel a little hug of the belly as if you were giving your baby a hug. So nothing too strenuous, but just a nice engaging of the abdominals. Let's release the right hand down and take a tip over to the right. Good. Keeping that left hand behind the head so you get a little bit deeper stretch as you start to lift the elbow. Good. Another couple of breaths here. And then slowly come all the way back up to sit. Awesome. Let's switch the crossing of your legs so the other leg is in front. Bring your hands onto your knees, big full breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to again shift to the back of the pelvis and round into the upper back. And this may feel a little different than it did on the first side. Shift forward and shift back. And it's simply because the hips are in a little bit different orientation here. Shift forward. And we typically have exhale, shift back, tightness and a difference between sides. Let's do one more. Shift forward and shift back. Good, and then sit nice and tall. And as you exhale, turn to the left. Right hand stays where it is. Left hand just comes back behind you just to support. We're not leaning into that hand. Good, we're gonna keep the right hip grounded and just turn into the chest. Good, one more breath here. And then slowly come back to center. Good, again, sweep the arms up overhead. Clasp your hands, flip the palms. One more time, stretching up through the side waist. Bring your hands behind your head, rest the head back, spread the elbows, lift your chest. Good, and then release that left hand down, tip over to the left, and keep breathing and lengthening into the right side body. Really lifting up through that right elbow will help to open up that space, which can get really tight and constricted in pregnancy. Good, and then slowly all the way back up to sit. Awesome. Let's uncross the legs, bring the soles of your feet together, and open the knees apart. Bring your hands onto your knees, and we're going to again do those circles with the torso, but this time we've got neutral hips. So we're getting the same benefits as we roll around. Good. And your circles can be as big or as small as makes sense for your movement and the ability of your mobility. Good, let's circle the opposite direction. Excellent, and then sit nice and tall, big full breath in. As you exhale, we'll just carefully fold forward towards the toes. Good, don't make sure that you're not dropped back into the pelvis, but that pelvis is tilted forward just like we did in the rocking forward and back. Release your head, soften your shoulders, and never ever pull on the body. Good, and then slowly start to walk your hands back and begin rolling up through the spine. From here, extend your right leg out and scoot that left foot in just a little bit. Okay. Now, not so much that it puts any pressure in your belly or your pelvis or anything, just a little bit in. We're gonna place the right hand inside of the right thigh and turn the chest to the left. From here, just start to tip that right shoulder down towards the left or towards the right thigh. Keep turning the chest up, and we're just going to breathe into the opening in the back of the left waist. You can keep your left hand down. If you're feeling a little bit more available to it, you can bring your hand behind your head and again lift that elbow up and over to get a little bit deeper stretch, but only if that feels okay for you. Good. One more breath here. And then slowly come all the way back up and turn to center. Good, let's switch legs. So the left leg goes out, the right foot tucks in. Place your left hand inside of your left thigh and your right hand to your waist. Turn the chest. And then let's tip that left shoulder down. Good, turning the chest up. You can again keep the right hand down or you can bring your right hand behind your head. Maybe you try that, it doesn't feel so good, so you release it back down. It's totally your choice. Deep breaths here. And then slowly release the hand and come all the way back up to sit nice and carefully. Let's extend both legs out. Sit right on the edge of that blanket or cushion and begin to tip the torso forward. So you're getting some stretch into the inner thighs, into the hamstrings, right up into the groin. Deep breaths, elbows heavy, shoulders heavy. And then slowly start to walk those hands back, rolling all the way up to sit, and find a nice tall, lengthened spine. Bring your hands behind your thighs. Scoop the knees in very carefully. And now we're going to come on to hands and knees. So you can just kind of swing the legs around. Now, you can either get rid of this blanket by sliding it off to the side, or you can place it underneath your knees if your knees are feeling at all sensitive. The joints can sometimes start to feel a little sensitive within pregnancy. So as we're here on hands and knees, I want you to really notice a couple of things. Where is the weight in your hands? Don't dump back into your wrists, but feel more the knuckles and the pads of the fingers grounding you down. And if you find that you're really dumping into the wrists, then you can place the edge of a blanket or a yoga strap or something underneath your wrists and get them a little elevated. And that will really help to keep from that dumping. But again, the joints can be a little bit more sensitive during pregnancy, so we want to be very mindful. The second thing I want you to notice is your front ribs and that hugging action of the belly. So we're not over activating through the abdominals, but it's just a light hug. And that's really what you want to think about as you're going through your pregnancy. It's just a light hug to keep the abdominals active. From here, let's start some circles around into those knuckles, back into the knees, just starting to move into the shoulders. And circle the opposite direction. Good, come back to center. From here, press down into your hands, start to lift your chest, lift your tail, look forward. Now we're not collapsing the belly, we still got that little hug. And then exhale, light hug as you just start to round into the upper back. Inhale, arch, chest and tail lift. Exhale, round. Good, let's do one more round of cat and cow. Inhale, arch, this is your cow pose. Exhale, round into your cat. Good, come back to center. And now from here, we're just gonna shift into that left knee and start moving your right knee in circles, easy circles. And the other direction. Good, and then extend that right leg back. Tuck the right toes. Reach back through your right heel. Reach forward through the crown of your head. Now we're gonna lift the right leg up behind and exhale, place it down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, light touch. Again, lift and lower. One more time, lift. And this time, if you're gonna hold here and if you feel comfortable enough to do it, you can extend the left arm forward, but only if you can find that real nice hug of the abdominals, power in the arms. Good, and then place the left hand down, place the right knee down, and give yourself a moment. You can wag the hips, you can shift and sway a little bit. Good. All right, from here, let's do that on the other side. So begin circling the left knee. And the opposite direction. Good, and then extend the left leg back, tuck those toes, reach long through the body. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, touch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, touch. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, touch. And now this time we lift, we hold. Maybe the right arm goes forward. Good. And then place that right hand down. Place the right knee down. Now here we'll separate the knees wide and place your big toes together. Shift your hips back towards your heels, and we're going to fold into child's pose, a nice wide child's pose. Taking a little break. This is a great place to come anytime you need during your practice. But if you at all feel dizzy, then just come up to sit very carefully. Good, let's take another couple of breaths here. And start to slowly make your way back up to hands and knees. Good, shifting forward really carefully. Awesome. From here, let's extend that right leg back once more. Tuck the toes. And we'll spin that right heel down to the left. I want you to shift into your left hand, really conscious of the knuckles and the pads of the fingers, and bring your right hand to your waist. We'll start to roll the right shoulder back. Good, as you start to open up a little bit more here. Now, if you're finding that your balance is a little off with the foot turned towards the right foot, the left foot, you can move that left foot towards the back or towards the side of the mat. Yeah, and it'll give you just a little bit more width of your balance. From here, if you're feeling super available, super comfortable, then you could lift your right leg. I always laugh when I say comfortable. I hate saying comfortable because really, there's not much that's comfortable. So available is better. So from here, start circling the right arm. And the opposite direction. Good, and then reach that right arm up, turn the palm to face overhead, sweep your arm up and over and really puff up through the right waist, really getting some breath into the right side body. Good, and then slowly just start to place your right hand down. Place your right knee down, nice and careful, wag the hips. Good, let's do all of that on the other side. Extend the left leg back, tuck the toes. Spin your left heel to the right, shift into your right hand, place your left hand on your waist and start to roll the left shoulder back. Good, again, making the adjustment with the right foot if you need a little extra width for support. And feel your left foot grounded completely into the mat. Lift your left arm up and let's start circling that left arm around. Good, and then the opposite direction. Good, reach the left arm up, turn the left palm to face overhead. Sweep that arm up and over and really puff up through the waist as you ground into the left hand. Good, and then place the left hand down, place the left knee down, and wag those hips a little from side to side. Excellent. All right, so from here, we're going to extend the right leg out to the side and walk your hands back. And you're going to come all the way up onto the left knee. So again, if that knee is feeling sensitive, then just place padding under this. We're going to come into gate pose, which is another side body lengthener, which I find so important during pregnancy because lengthening through the side body allows us to breathe. Yeah, it allows those breathing muscles, the intercostals, to find a little bit of space and a little bit of pliability. So inhale your arms up and then release your right hand down, reach up and over to the right. Good, just breathing here. Good, and then sweep the arms all the way up. Carefully place your hands down in front of you. And we're gonna bring that right knee back to meet the left. Good. Now extend your left leg out to the side. Walk your hands back. Come up onto the right knee this time. Sweep your arms up. And then release that left arm down, lift up and over to the left. Good, deep breaths. Awesome, come all the way back up. Place your hands down And then left knee comes to meet the right. Wag those hips a little from side to side. Good. So now let's take your two blocks or your two stacks of books that you might have and place your hands on right on top of those blocks. From here, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. We want that right foot a little bit farther forward of the shoulder because then we're going to shift the weight forward into the hips and lift the chest. Now, here's a very important place for you to feel that wrap and hug, especially if you're in your third trimester, excuse me, your third trimester. So you want to really hold on and engage those abdominals the best that you can. So take a big full breath in here. And as you exhale, shift back, round the spine. Inhale, shift forward, lift up through the chest. Exhale, shift back and round. Good, let's do that two more times. Shifting forward, lifting up, hugging the abdominals. Exhale back, round and soften. Again, inhale forward. And exhale back. Good. And now let's come forward and just stay for just a few breaths. Good. And now just shift it back very slowly. Place that right knee beside the left. Wag the hips once more. All right, let's try the other side. So left foot steps to the outside of the left hand. Shift your hips forward. Take a nice lift up through the chest. Feel those front ribs wrapping, the belly hugging. Exhale, shift back and round. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Again, inhale forward. And exhale back. Good. And now let's shift forward just to hold and breathe. Nice. And then slowly shift it back. Place the left knee beside the right. Wag those hips a little from side to side. Good. So from here, I want you to turn your blocks on their lowest setting. If you have books, only if they're sturdy books. If they're not sturdy books, then just place them off to the side. So we're just going to come here. We're going to tuck the toes and we're going to actually separate the knees a little wider. So tuck your toes. We're going to go up and back into a downward dog with the hips wide, with the knees wide. So we want to step the feet wide, bend your knees, and press down into your hands, starting to open up the chest. Pedal your feet, bending one knee at a time. Good, and then we're going to carefully walk those feet forward, knees bent the whole way. When you get there, step the feet as wide as the mat. Bend your knees and fold forward as much as you can over your legs. From here, knees bent, start to press into your feet and roll all the way up to stand. Good, and then we're just going to find a nice tall stance. So it is okay to do downward dog in your pregnancy as long as you don't feel lightheaded or dizzy in any way. So I wouldn't hold it for more than 3 or 4 breaths, and definitely not if you feel any lightheadedness at all. Anytime you're coming up to stand, make sure that your head is the very last thing to come up so that we're not kind of jarring into the nervous system, which can also lead to a little bit of dizziness. So when we step here, we're going to step wide, but a little wider than the hips, okay? And I want you to take those blocks or something tall and sturdy, even soda bottles, juice bottles, whatever you have, and kind of set them in front of you. From here, we're going to sweep the arms up alongside the ears. And then bend your knees, open your arms, and take a long spine forward. place your hands onto your blocks. Inhale, see if you can lengthen the legs and reach the chest forward nice and long, but try not to lock into the knees. So just a little lengthen. And then exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up, coming all the way back up to stand. And as you exhale, release your arms down by your side. Good, let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And exhale, open, bending the knees, fold forward. Inhale, legs can lengthen, chest lifts. Exhale, soften and fold. Good, sweep the arms out, reaching all the way up to stand. And exhale, arms by your side. Good, 1 more time. Inhale. And opening and diving forward. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Good. Coming all the way back up, arms out as we roll up through the spine. Exhale, arms down by your side. Good. From here, let's come into a little balance twist. So I want you to have your feet still wide and your blocks on their highest height. We're going to shift into the left foot and place your right foot on its block. So you're nice and wide here, okay? So the only reason that we tend to turn in the opposite direction during pregnancy is because of the belly getting in the way, essentially. So with the legs a little wider, we can twist a little bit more. So I want you to just bring your left hand onto your waist and extend your right arm out to the side. From here, we're just going to turn to the right and come back to center. And again, turn to the right and center. Good, 1 more time. Turn it to the right. This time, maybe you extend the left arm forward. Good, a couple of breaths. Awesome, and then turn it back to center, palms in front of your heart. And let's place the right foot down. Great. Left foot onto its block, stepping wide. So right foot onto your waist, left arm out to the side. Nice big full breath in. Exhale, turn it to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, just turning the chest. Again, inhale. And exhale, turn. This time, maybe the right arm extends forward. Good. 2 more breaths. And then back to center, palms together in front of your heart. Let's place that left foot down and shake out the hips and shake out the legs. Good. So this time, we're just going to come into tree pose. Now, during your pregnancy, there might be times in your pregnancy where you find your balance completely off, especially as the body learns its new equilibrium with a little bit larger area in the front than that equal that used to be there. So if you're finding that that is throwing off your balance, then take it a little bit more with care. Maybe you place your hand on a wall. Maybe you're holding onto a chair, right? Even if you don't need it, but you just kind of feel more safe doing it, then absolutely give yourself that permission. There's nothing wrong with taking a little extra care. So we're going to come into tree pose. And what you're going to do with tree pose is either find ankle, calf. Now, if you're a practiced yogi and you want to take your foot to your inner thigh, great. It's wonderful strengthening for the inner thighs while you're pregnant. If that's not working for you, then don't do it. Stay a little bit down, right? If you want to stay down here, fabulous. So let's choose where along this path you've decided to go today. Placing the left foot on the right leg, and your palms can come together in front of your heart. And remember, if you're at the wall or at a chair, you have that there just for a little test. All right, and from here, we can take the arms up. Good. Nice, and then bring your palms back together. Place the right knee down. Shake out your legs. All right, let's try the other side. So left foot grounded, right foot to ankle, calf, or inner thigh. Palms together. We want both hips facing forward, belly and chest facing forward. Remember, balance is not about stillness. Balance is about working with the movement and the wobble that naturally occurs. It's a big lesson in parenthood. Good. Bring your palms back together and place that foot down. Awesome. Shake out your legs. So, one more standing thing that we're going to do is malasana or squat. Now, this is a great place that you can grab a couple of things. You can grab a blanket, you can grab a block. So, I'll show you why you will need each thing. So, we're going to step our feet as wide as our mat with our toes off and our heels on. And then we're going to come all the way down. Now, if you want to come all the way down without a block, go for it. If you want to just sit onto a block, great. Then we sit onto a block or 2 blocks. Now, if you find that your heels don't want to come all the way to the ground, then your blanket, or maybe even 2 blankets, are going to come underneath the heels. Let me swing this around to the other side. They're going to come underneath the heels so that you can ground into the balls of the feet and the heels. And you can take this blanket at any height that you would like based on how far off the ground your heels are. So let's find malasana, whether you're using a blanket or a block or not. And place the elbows to the insides of the thighs. Press your palms together and feel a nice opening of the chest. You still want to find that same hugging of the belly here. We don't want to collapse. Unless you're trying to give birth right now. Not that this is going to make you give birth, don't worry. But we want to just always feel that nice hug of the abdominals. Good, let's take 2 more breaths here. Excellent. And now we want to make our way all the way down into our seat. So we want to place one of our hands down, shift into that hand, remove your block, and just come all the way down to sit. Nice. Okay. So one of the most important things to do during your pregnancy is a shavasana practice, to give yourself that time to rest, that time to release tension, taking quiet time for you. So let me show you a nice setup for shavasana. Now, some people like to lay on their left side for shavasana, but I have found in my personal experience that this is a nice method to do. It's just a little propped up. So you have 1 block on its highest height, 1 block on its lowest height, and then I take my bolster or my couch cushion and I stack it up on my blocks. So it's on a nice incline, right? So that we've got head above heart, heart above hips. Then I'm going to take my blanket or even another pillow or couch cushion itself, put it underneath my knees. You can separate the knees a little bit, right? I'm going to lay back and then just place your hands on your belly, maybe down onto the low belly. And let your eyes close. And give yourself permission for the next few moments to just simply be still, quiet, and at ease. Begin just to take a deep, full breath in and a full breath out. Very carefully begin to bend your knees, and you can either roll through your right side to come up to sit or just carefully press yourself up. Let that journey be slow and easy so it's not rushed, not jarring in any way. And find a nice tall seat, sits bones grounding, the crown of your head lifting. And once more, with your eyes either closed or the soft downward gaze, find one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And honoring this beautiful time of two heartbeats connected together. As you go along this journey, hold on to this beautiful connection that you are cultivating, that you are creating. Gratitude for every step along the way. And stay grounded in your breath, your peace, and the knowledge that you are beautiful. Let's bring our palms together in front of our hearts, bowing our heads in honor of this beautiful time, of every breath, every moment of life. Namaste.